President, and we can go into the report. We have quorum. Okay. Mr. Manager. All right, you ready? Bueno, mucho más elegante cuando está aquí al lado mío. Let's start this up. It is now, sí, yes, ya son las 6:06. Today is Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. It is now 6:06 p.m., and this is a regular City Commission meeting of the City of West Miami. This meeting is now called to order. Please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, you are with us in every transition and change. As we enter in this new era with excitement and even some anxiety, we recall your deep compassion, presence, and abundant love. We thank you for the gifts, talents, and skills with which you have blessed us. We thank you for the experiences that have brought us to this moment. Thank you for the work of others that gives breadth and depth to our work. Be with us as we move forward, rejoicing with you and supporting one another. Lord, please also place your healing hands on Commissioner Blanca, who has been ill, so that she may recover quickly. We ask all of this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you. Everyone for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Item 3, roll call. Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón.
Here.
Vice Mayor Juan Blanes.
Present.
Commissioner Candida Blancas excused. Commissioner Ivan Chavez Jr.
Here.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for November 1st, 2023 regular commission meeting and November 29th, 2023 special commission meeting.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next
Thank
item.
you. Item 5, public comments.
Anyone for public comments? Not on an item, just general. Seeing none. Next item.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, and residents. As usual, you have my manager's report as part of the package of the agenda that you all have. But I hope you all had a pleasant holiday season, and I'm looking forward to the new year. I hope everybody, when they were walking in today, saw the new electronic sign outside. We continue to move this city forward in many positive ways. I want to announce a few things that might not be in my manager's report that I want to talk about. First of all, the officer that saved the other baby's life has just been named the Officer of the Month. I believe that's going to be when? On the 18th. Congratulations. That's 2 lives that we saved, which is a very rare occurrence, and I'm very, very proud of our officers and what the job well done that they did.
Yeah, and if I'll interrupt you then, I know we had a beautiful ceremony for our other officer who's saving lives, and obviously, I think this was the early morning hours of New Year's. I guess that was, sorry, not New Year's, Christmas Eve. So it was an awkward time of everyone being out of commission, but I would like to have a similar ceremony so that he can be medaled and recognized as well, and we'll work on that with the administration to get that done, whether it be at a commission meeting or whether it be on its own. So we'll figure that out. But I do want to recognize him. Aside from his great deed, is obviously an excellent officer. Again, another young officer that we have in our department. So we really like to recognize him in the similar fashion. So we'll work on that.
And we will work with the mayor and the commission to make sure that happens. The mayor and the commission, you've all asked me to look at our black olive trees and to look at what Coral Gables was doing to see if we can start implementing that. We've looked at the vendor that they use. It is a tree injection program in which they go and inject the tree because the black olive's sap is really in a response to a mite and a caterpillar that they get. With these injections, it kills the parasite, so therefore the tree does not have that shock response, and it will reduce, if not substantially eliminate, the staining that the black olive trees does. We're going to do that on an as-needed basis. We will roll out a phone number for people to call us for the black olives that are in the public right-of-ways, and we will start the injections shortly so that we can address that problem and that concern that a lot of our residents have had. I also want to take a minute and I'm really proud of our grant writer. The first day back after the holiday break, I walked in and I just wanted to go home that day after I opened up the first 3 emails. We have gotten over $400,000 in grants in one day. $200,000 for a new mini pitch soccer fields at the rec center, $100,000 for us to do a study on traffic and safety throughout the city. And lastly, but least important, is another $80,000 that we're matching with our $80,000, so it's $160,000 to continue to grow our tree canopy. And that represents over 200 new trees that will be planted in the city of West Miami. We've also have applied for some other grants. We had that conversation before, and we will start announcing those as we go forward and move on. Lastly, if we have the slide, if we can put the picture up of the new street signs. That up there on the screen is the new street signs that will be going up. As you know, this mayor and commission passed an ordinance reducing all our speed limits to 25 miles per hour, and we thought it was beneficial to change our poles to continue to roll out the distinctive character of the city of West Miami, and that is the new pole. They're assembling them together now, and they will start installing them within the next week or so. Again, I want to remind our residents to please call our Public Works Department for any pressurized sidewalk cleaning that you may want in the public right-of-way or tree trimming requests. We've had about 40 sidewalk cleaning calls, and we've handled the majority of them so far. Lastly, you'll start seeing us start working on our second phase of our water infrastructure improvements, and that'll be starting shortly, as this commission approved that contract about a month ago. After the first 3 months of the new fiscal year, we have a preliminary surplus of about $100,000 that fluctuates throughout the year, but it's a very good start for the first quarter that we're on the plus side. And I also want to finish by saying that I invite all our residents to come to our first ever State of the City that's slated for January the 25th at 7 p.m. We request that you guys RSVP. We will have, so that we have the proper count for the festivities and to discuss the highlights that the mayor and this commission have for us in the upcoming year. I also want to announce that in February, we'll have our first food truck and music event at Cooper Park, followed by our annual Easter extravaganza in March. And with that, my comments are concluded.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the manager on his report?
No.
Seeing none, thank you. Thank you for your report. Next item, please.
Item 7, report of the city attorney.
Mr. Attorney?
Yes, good evening, and again, our wishes for a very happy new year. I just want to report that we received an order by the court in the appellate, in the administrative appeal or the red light camera, granting us our motion to strike the appellant's brief. And now what we have to do is go out and discuss the final appeal that the appellant has filed. And also, I have been talking to the manager about the Form 6 reporting, which I think that we will address later on the month.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the attorney on his report? Seeing none, thank you. Next item.
Item 8, report of the city engineer. None this evening.
Oh, he's walking up to say something.
Oh, yes, yes, this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Happy New Year. No, just to kind of piggyback on some of what the manager was talking about, yeah, we are commencing here soon on Phase 2 of our water projects. We have a pre-con meeting tomorrow, actually, with the contractor to start ordering materials and planning the project. It's going to be a significant project, as you guys know. So, you know, we're trying to get ahead of it and plan as much as possible. We've wrapped up, you know, pretty much all the work on Phase 1 already, so that's been good. And since our last meeting, we finished our drainage projects that we had outstanding. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see on 66th Avenue, just south of, just north of 15th Street. That street was completely reconstructed as part of the drainage project, came out really nice.
So we still have drainage projects on the docket,
We are
right?
currently in design on the next packet of drainage, if you will.
Which
So
one,
we're-
with the ninth, what is that, Terrace? Or is-
It's a bunch of streets.
Ninth
yeah.
Terrace, 11th?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
all the ones that were included in that last newsletter.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so we're working on that. Hopefully, we'll come out to bid on that this quarter as well, along with Phase 3 of the water project. So things are chugging along. Any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for the engineer? Seeing none, you're off the hook.
All right.
Next item.
Item 9, committee reports.
Anyone for committee reports? Commissioner Chavez?
So we had a Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting prior to this meeting. A lot of the members are still here. I want to publicly thank you guys for your hard work. And I also want to touch on our grant manager and writer as well, just as our manager described. She has done a phenomenal job. She did a presentation for us in a sole purpose meeting that was following our Parks and Rec meeting and presented a slew of projects that are coming to both of our parks. And we're very excited for what's to come. I don't want to get too into detail because we can go on. The meeting was about an hour long, but we're getting bathrooms. The manager spoke about the soccer pitch that we're getting with the $200,000 grant that she was able to secure for us. We are going to be putting in now at the end of the month a grant for splash pads, fencing around Cooper Park. So we're going to bring more amenities to our community. This fencing is going to make it safer. We're going to be removing the sand from the playgrounds as well. Again, making the neighborhood safer and the park safer for our children. So a lot of exciting things coming to the community. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you for that, and thank you for your leadership on that, and thank you, Vice Mayor, for your leadership for many years on the rec. I know this is going to be legacy projects that we're all very proud of, but especially you two. The Vice Mayor pointed something out to me here. We have a letter on our desks from Gunster, which I guess is representing the applicant for one of the items today. I know we have unfinished business next, but considering that this is a public hearing that was scheduled for tonight, I want to make sure that we address this immediately to make sure that nobody is here longer than they have to be. So could you address this letter, please, Mr. Manager?
Yes, that's item
Item B and C.
Item 11B and C, which is for Frank's Fresh Fruit Mini Market. They have asked to defer this for 30 days. In conversations with them, they were gracious to grant us that so that we can go out to the community and give the community a little bit longer to look at it, considering the holidays. And they have requested a deferral until the very first meeting in February so that we have a chance and the residents have a chance to look at this, discuss it amongst themselves. And
Yeah,
you know,
I have no problem with deferral as long as they have an active plan to reach out to residents and take advantage of the time we're giving them to make sure that their application is strong before we consider it.
we will as well. We will go out and put a notice on the doors.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
So if anyone's here for this item, for the Frank's Restaurant, okay, did you understand what's going on? They defer it till next month.
Yeah, but I have just one question.
Approach.
If you approve the
Can
grocery,
you say your name and address for the record,
my
please?
name is Henry Torres, 65, 5457 Southwest 9th Street. My question is, if you approve the grocery, where the 15-plus workers are going to park? Because right now, all the parking spaces on the street, on 9th Street, are taken from the fruteria store. And the people who live in that area, they don't have any place to park.
Can I stop you before you speak? Because there is a lot of legal, this is a public hearing on a zoning item, and there's a lot of legal stuff that can get us in trouble and get everyone in trouble. So I should be very, very clear. Let's not discuss it here. I know there's a few residents, I see people shaking their heads in the back there, so valid points. Can we make sure, can we take, this item's gonna come back in February, but can we make sure that we take their addresses, their contact informations, so that the applicant can discuss with them even prior to the meeting, and we can hopefully maybe settle some of this prior to us considering it. I myself don't know the application yet. I have stayed away from it until, like, as we're supposed to know what happens when they present it. So I haven't seen it. Administration has seen it a little more, but let's get the applicant with these residents that have these valid concerns. Let's see if they can, answer these questions. Obviously, if they don't sufficiently answer your question, or if you want to come for any other reason, come before us when they come, and we will sort it all out and figure that out as it comes. But let's make
Mayor,
sure.
if I may
Yeah.
have you, the three people meet with my chief of staff, Gloria Rodriguez,
Yeah,
in the back.
let's make sure that we
We'll
do
take
that.
your name and your number, and we will make sure that we give you a call back in the next day or so.
Okay.
Just remember, it's next month.
Yeah, and they'll get noticed again, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
yes.
For the city attorney, this is a public hearing.
Yes, you
and
are
as
absolutely right.
We need to open
Yep.
it and continue it.
Yeah, let's
until-
take that out of order right now, because we already kind of spoke on it, so let's deal with this. All right, please read item B, and following that, read item
Yes.
C.
This is item 11B. This is a public hearing, property address 6468, 6470 Southwest 8th Street, West Miami, Florida 32144, special use permit, index number 2023-02, applicant Frank's Fresh Fruit Mini Market, Carlos Abreu Inc., 6480 Southwest 8th Street, West Miami, Florida 32144. Applicant requests a special use permit for the property at 6468, 6470 Southwest 8th Street, West Miami, Florida 32144. The property is zoned for C, commercial, and the applicant is requesting to allow for a grocery store with heating, food service, and takeout, and alcoholic beverages to be offered only with food. Zoning ordinance 282, section 281.
Okay, there's a public hearing. The public hearing is now open. I need a motion to, do I close it, or do I need a motion to continue? We're not
Continue.
closing the public hearing, I apologize. Can I get a motion to continue this item for a time certain?
Of February 7 at 6 p.m.,
Okay,
February
can-
7, 2024.
We have a motion?
Motion to,
We have a motion, we
Continue.
have a second. Call the roll.
Okay, Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes,
4-0, item passes.
thank you.
Continued.
It's
And
continued.
item C
Item C.
is tied to this item, so it's continued too.
Item C is attached, so
Yes.
it is deferred. Let's just for cleanness, can I get a motion to defer this item for the meeting in February as well? Item
Mo-
C.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's, I'm gonna screw up your agenda here, Madam Clerk, a little bit. We're gonna, what item is the property rights amendment,
The comprehensive plan is 11A.
11A? I know we have someone here for 11A, let's get him out of here.
Yes.
Can you read, item 11A, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, item 11 is in business agenda items, and item 11A is the second reading and public hearing over an ordinance of the City of West Miami, Florida, amending the City of West Miami's comprehensive plan to add a property rights element as required by and in conformity with Section 163-3177, parent 6, Florida statutes, providing for legislative findings and intent, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Public hearing
Yes.
is now open, and we have an attorney from Ackerman here who is assisting us on this ordinance. Can you please state your name and address for the record and
Yep.
state where you're?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Christopher Pinellas from Ackerman LLP, law offices at 98 Southeast 7th Street in the city of Miami. I've had the pleasure of working with the city manager, city attorney, and city clerk on this matter over the last few months. This is essentially to get the comprehensive plan of the city of West Miami into compliance with state statutes. Florida law, Florida legislator a few years back passed a requirement that local comprehensive plans incorporate a property rights element. This is the first step that we are taking to bring the comprehensive plan into compliance. There's another step that Ed and I have discussed on a preliminary basis that will come after this to bring the comprehensive plan into compliance, and then you guys will be in compliance with state law.
Appreciate that.
Any questions you have, I'm here to answer them.
If anyone has any questions for Mr. Pinellas? I think you're good for now. And is anybody else from the audience have, it's a public hearing, does anyone have anything to say on this item? I would imagine not. I think this is pretty boilerplate. But, all right. Appreciate you. We're going to close the public hearing now unless you have, Vice Mayor, were you clicking your mic? Okay. Close the public hearing now. Public hearing is now closed. Take it back to the table. Does anyone have anything on this item? Seeing none, do you have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you, and thank
Great
you,
seeing you all. Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Pinellas.
you.
Happy New Year.
Let's go back to the order of the agenda if we can.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Item 10A, this item was deferred at the September 20th, 2023 Commission meeting. It's a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami approving the purchase of water meters for the city and authorizing the city manager to create a purchase order for Waterworks Metrology LLC in the amount of, and please, let's correct this scrivener's error for the record. The right amount is $234,000 and providing for an effective date.
All right. Mr. Manager, explain the item, please.
Yes, right now, our water meters are read. We have some that are electronically read and some that are read by our labor force. This is to change all our water meters to be read electronically so that we can make sure that we are billing our residents correctly and not over or under billing them, which has happened in the past, and it's long overdue. We deferred it because we were looking to see if there was any other possible grant options, but there isn't. This is coming from ARPA money anyway. It's not really our taxpayers' money. It's the federal money that we got from the American Relief Act. And we recommend highly that we go forward so that we can have electronic meter readings that will also work very nicely with our billing software for us to be able to move forward.
All right. Anyone for the table?
Well, for a long time, we need this. And for a long time, we have been waiting for this. So now that we get the money for this, I totally approve of this. I'm for this. So make a motion.
Does anyone have anything else on this item? We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 10B, this item was deferred at the November 1st, 2023 Commission meeting, and this is a second reading and a public hearing. It's an ordinance of mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami, amending city of West Miami zoning ordinance 282 as amended, section 483, general regulations common to R1, R2, and A and C use districts, prohibiting the overnight parking of any commercial type vehicle on any public or private in R1, R2, or A use district, except in a completely enclosed garage or side of the dwelling, providing for registration and registration fee, providing for penalties, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for transmittal, and providing for an effective date.
All right, this is a public hearing. Public hearing is now open. I have a note here from management. Go ahead.
We're asking for 120 deferral for a few of these items. This is one of them. And the reason for that is we're still trying to work out some of the items within this ordinance to ensure that we're that when we bring it out, it's fair and just, and we're not overstepping our bounds. So we humbly request a 120-day deferral.
Okay, does anyone have an issue with that? All right, Vice Mayor, I think this is your item, we're good? Vice Mayor, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, can I get a motion to defer 120 days? So the meeting following 120 days, and I don't know if you want to do the math on that.
Yes, I'm trying to do the math.
For
Yes.
deferral.
Yeah.
So, February, March, April, May, so May 8th,
What is it?
is it?
May 8th? May 8th?
May the 8th, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Okay, so time certain, May 8th. Do we have a motion on that?
Motion.
We
Second.
have a motion and a
Second.
second. All in favor, we'll call the roll.
Yes, okay, Mr. Commissioner Suarez,
Yes,
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes.
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Yes.
4-0, item passes, item deferred.
Thank you. Next
Um,
item?
Item C, deferred at the November 1st, 2023 Commission meeting, and this is a second reading and a public hearing of an ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, amending Chapter 5, Buildings, Article 1 in general, Section 5-5, Schedule of Fees by providing for a substitute schedule of fees for services rendered by the city and recommended by the city engineer and attached hereto and made part hereof at Exhibit A, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for ordinances in conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Yeah, this one needs work. Public hearing is now open. I see a note here on the agenda to be open and continue to a date time certain. Are we, what's a date time certain?
Mayor, we're
recommended?
asking for the same thing.
120?
May 8th for the
8th.
same thing. The Florida Building Code just changed as of January 1st, and there's some items that we have to look at so that we can
Okay.
make sure that it's done right.
Do we have a motion?
motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll for continuance.
Yes, Commissioner Chavez, I do vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez,
Yes,
Vice Mayor Blanes.
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Yes.
5-0, item passes. Item
4-0, thank you.
continued.
Next item?
Yes, item D, this item was deferred at the November 1st, 2023 Commission meeting. This is a second reading and a public hearing. An ordinance of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 9, Article 7 of the Code of Ordinances, transient vacation rentals, including additional definitions, expanding life safety requirements, requiring smoke and carbon monoxide detectors hardwired to main electrical system in every room of the vacation dwelling, requiring ground fault circuit interrupters, requiring licensed electrical contractors to conduct any electrical installation, increasing license costs to $2,500 per year, limiting to one permit and one unit per vacation rental dwelling, requiring proof of registration of vacation rental property with the property appraiser of Miami-Dade County, providing for sanctions, providing for sections of Chapter 9, Section 7 in conflict with this ordinance, providing for severability, providing for renumbering, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
I didn't catch that. Can you say it again? Can you, public hearing is now open. I have a note on this. Go ahead.
Mayor, same deal, May 8th, we'd like to have a deferral. Airbnb has contacted us, we haven't had a chance to sit down with them yet and try to work this through. So before we bring it forward, I'd like to have that conversation with them and ensure that we're all on the same page, sir.
Got
Motion.
it. You got a motion. You're gonna have to say it again in May. Congratulations.
So
We have-
motion
we
by
have a- we have a
Vice
motion.
Mayor, who
Second.
made the motion? I'm sorry.
Vice Mayor made the motion.
Mayor Blanes?
Do we have a second?
second,
We have a second.
Okay.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item
I have a
E.
feeling I know where this is going. All
Oh
right.
my God, another deferred at the November 1st, 2023 Commission meeting, second reading and public hearing, an ordinance of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami relating to commercial waste pickup service by the city of West Miami, amending Chapter 8, Garbage and Trash, Article 2, Fees for City Service, Section 8-26, parent B, parent 2 of the city code, increasing the quarterly fees from $62.50 to $500.00, providing schedule of fees for collection and disposal, providing for severability, providing for repeal of all ordinances or parts thereof in conflict herewith, providing for codification and an effective date.
Public hearing is now open. I remember last meeting of the year, we requested information on, this is for commercial trash pickup only, this is not residential.
That is correct.
And we asked for information back from how different municipalities, how different private contractors approach the pricing. We haven't been able to report
We
all that
haven't been
together.
able to finish that, so I'm asking, again, it sounds like a broken record, but I'm asking for a 120-day deferral to May 8th so that we can finish our study and ensure that we do roll out a proper fee for the commercial side only. We're not touching residential, and I want to emphasize that,
Okay.
underline it and underscore it. We are not touching residential.
Any motion on that?
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
Second. All, call the roll, please.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item F, this item was deferred at the November 1st, 2023 Commission meeting, and it is a request for mitigation of liens for code violations of the property located at 10002 Southwest 65th Avenue and owner Diversity Investment Group, Inc.
Can you read the resolution as well?
Sure.
I know we got to put blanks in it, but read the resolution, please.
Yes, item G, resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami authorizing the city manager to accept a mitigation offered in the amount of, and the recommendation of the city manager is $1,000 from Diversity Investment Group, Inc. on code enforcement liens for code violation of the property located at 10002 Southwest 65th Avenue, West Miami, Florida, providing that if payment in full is not paid by in 1 week, then the amount owed shall revert to the original lien amount and providing for an effective date.
So we just included there the recommendation of the manager, so you can give it now.
The recommendation is $1,000 plus the cost, the recording fees and
Recording and release fees.
recording and release fees, so we will give them the whole amount. We're going to give them a week to pay. This property is in complete compliance right now. There's a very old case that we are having some issues back and forth, but they have complied and they made sure that it complies. So my recommendation is $1,000 plus our cost.
Okay. Anyone on the board? Any questions on this item?
No, the recommendation is okay. We are not in the real estate business. We try to go ahead with
Motion.
this.
You have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second. Who wants it? Commissioner Suarez. All right.
Commissioner Suarez?
Commissioner Suarez, second. Yep.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
Yes, Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote? Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-0, item passes.
Thank you. Let's head it back into new business, and I think we are at item 11D.
11D. This is a public hearing to determine that the residents of a governmental agency, City of West Miami, have sufficient access to the internet by broadband services as defined in Section 36402 of Florida statutes.
Are these all public hearing items?
This is a public hearing.
Okay. Public hearing is now open. Mr. Manager, want to explain this item, or Mr. Attorney, better?
I think that there is no issue on the, as it was presented, as it is presented presently. So we have no comment on that.
You want to expand on the context?
Yeah,
please?
the series of the next 2 or 3 resolutions are that the state of Florida has deemed that all agendas and all public hearings must be done in a newspaper of general circulation, at least a minimum of weekly, and/or a website, a public broadband website, but not of our choosing. It's a choosing of the county where the municipality resides in. The issue is that this is first step. This is basically us announcing that we're going to be looking for another avenue, because the only avenue present to us right now is the Miami Herald, and that is a rather expensive, for us, it's rather expensive, and it's really going to affect our city clerk's budget. So we're looking for alternatives. Miami-Dade County has not moved forward on picking a website, so that really is an avenue that's close to us at present. So we're looking at other viable options. and this allows us to bring those back to you, and this is notifying the public that we will be changing the way that we publish our agendas and our, and our public things in the future. Not right now. Right now, we will continue doing the Miami Herald, but as soon as we find another avenue, we will be changing.
Notwithstanding the fact that the legislature approved the filing through electronic devices, in order for us to do that, it has to be approved first by Miami-Dade County. And we have to sort of piggyback to Miami-Dade County and follow their directions. So this is actually plain and simple. The manager is trying to do the best to secure other means which are a lot cheaper. But basically, we're stuck with what we had before.
Okay, read item E, please, because
No.
the item D is not an item really, right?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I have a question. What about Miami Today?
Okay, doesn't meet the requirement to be a newspaper or general circulation, which is prescribed by statute.
So Miami Today do not qualify?
Well, actually, Mr. Commissioner, the problem is this. It's not that we determine that they're not qualified. They have to prove to us that they're qualified. We cannot know, see, at least the circulation should be at least 10% of the citizens of the city of West Miami, and we don't know that their circulation is that secured. So it's for them to tell us that they're really, and prove to us that they're really complying with the law.
In the statute, is there a requirement that the newspaper be in English?
In the what, sir?
In English?
In the news?
There's a requirement that the publication be in English as opposed to another language?
I don't quite understand the question, sir.
In the statute that regulates the publications, is there a provision that requires that that the publication be printed in English as opposed to a Spanish publication?
Well, we are a trilingual community at this point. My best advice would be to continue publishing as we have done before.
If we can look into that, obviously, you know, we want to follow and comply all the laws, and they're really important to comply with. But if we're talking frankly, I mean, we know that any resident is not picking up, you know, a notice from the newspaper, the back of a newspaper. They're picking it up from a website. They're picking it up from a posting at their house, mailer to their house, right? So we're just trying to really eliminate costs that have become pretty substantial, right? So if we can even look into that, you know, that would likely be a cost saving if it was possible. But anyways, item D doesn't seem to be an item, right?
No, it's a public hearing.
Public hearing closed. I mean, public hearing is not closed, so there's nothing to vote on, right? So it's not.
Yes, and we have the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Item E.
Do you want me to open the public hearing for all the items, for all the
Just,
resolutions?
The public hearing was item D, and we have the resolution for your consideration.
But is item E, F, and G public hearing items?
According to
Item
the
D,
statute, yes, sir.
Okay. So do I open individually and
Yes,
close
you
them
do.
individually?
And we have to determine whether or not the city has the capability, a certain percentage of the community has that capability.
Right. No, but let me just stop you right there.
Okay.
Just procedurally, item E, F, and G, or the rest of the items in the agenda, are they
F,
individually public hearings?
Item F is a resolution, it's not a public
So
hearing.
only item E is a public hearing?
Only item E.
Okay, beautiful.
Item D and E.
Read the resolution, and I'll open the public hearing.
Yes, resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami, Florida pursuant to section 50311 Florida statute enacted by Florida legislature, providing for the publication of legal notices on certain publicly accessible websites, requiring the city of West Miami to hold a public hearing to determine that the residents of the city of West Miami have sufficient access to the internet by broadband services as defined in section 36402 Florida statutes, providing for an effective date.
All right.
The discussions in committee, Mr. Mayor.
Hold on, let me, one second. Public hearing is now open. Okay, go ahead.
The discussion at the meeting during the debate in Tallahassee was the fact that there are certain people that do not have the access or the whereabouts or the capability of looking at notices through electronic means. So the statute reads that we have to determine, and this is the purpose of the resolution, that there are sufficient legal notices that are accessible websites to citizens of the city of West Miami. In other words, and I can, for instance, I have a case today with the city of West Miami that we're talking about e-filing in court. Not everybody has the capability or the ability to read through electronic means the notices. So this is why we have to determine, or you have to determine, that we do have the accessibility in the city of West Miami.
Okay, this item reads, publication of legal notices on certain publicly accessible websites requiring the city of West Miami to hold a public hearing to determine that the residents of West Miami have sufficient access to the internet. What are we voting on here?
You vote on the resolution that in fact you do have the capability within the city of West Miami for the citizens to have.
So it's affirming that we have the capability.
That you have determined that they have sufficient.
Okay, beautiful. Mr. Manager?
Sufficient access in the electronic means. The issue is that it has to be determined that there's sufficient accessibility within the city of West Miami for electronic filing of ordinances and resolutions and business of the city.
So we're talking about websites,
Yes, sir.
which we know the county hasn't picked yet, so is this setting up for the county picks a vendor?
The county has not
Correct.
had not acted on this thing.
Right, so,
Throughout the state, there have been several counties that in fact have acted and had have ordinances that approve electronic service, and the cities have sort of piggyback on that on those ordinances to comply with the statute. The Miami-Dade County has not acted on that, so all we have to do at this point is to determine that there's accessibility within the city of Miami. So when the Miami-Dade County passes the ordinance, then that we can piggyback and comply with the statute.
okay. Anyone for public hearing on this item? Public hearing is now closed. Back to the board. Anyone have anything to say on this item?
So
just-
what, the idea is to wait until the county,
This is to determine that we will have accessibility once Miami-Dade County picks a website that we can use. But this is saying, once Miami-Dade County does this, we will be able to use that system.
but they should be opening soon, because all the other cities need.
No, sir, not in Miami-Dade County.
Well, no, well, he's saying they should be opening soon, but that's up to the county.
That is up to the county. They haven't
I agree.
they haven't even moved on this.
I understand that.
Is there anyone else on this item? Commissioner Chavez, go ahead.
So in the meantime, we are kind of stuck using the Herald, right? Is there any other options?
Unless we have a newspaper that we can find, and we are gonna look into what the mayor suggested now about other local newspapers that are in print and have circulation, because there are a few requirements. General circulation of the whole county, at least 10% of the whole county, or at least 10% of your municipality, one or the other. If we can jump one of those hurdles and we can save some money, we will, and we'll bring it back to the
Yeah,
commission
I'm
at the time.
thinking, I think in our city, Libre has a good amount of coverage. Vocero has a good amount of coverage. These are obviously, you don't need to be a big newspaper to have a lot of coverage in our city, right? So just something to look at, because I know it's very pricey. The Herald is a very pricey, extremely pricey venture, so. We were, just for context, we were not using the Herald previously.
We were using the South Florida.
No, the Daily Business
The Daily
Review,
Business
but they
Review.
went out of business as of December 21st.
Okay.
So this is basically step one, saying that once a website's approved, we'll be able to access it and go with them.
Go ahead, Vice
And
Mayor.
the reason that this resolution is here today is that we're saving one step. In other words, assuming that we had waited until the Miami-Dade County acted, we would have to go out to the resolution after the Miami had acted. So when you determine that in fact there's sufficient accessibility in the website in West Miami, that we would have saved a step in the right direction.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Suggestion, Mr. Mayor, if you can take the leadership in contacting our neighboring cities like Miami Springs, Coral Gables, Hialeah, City of Miami, all surrounding cities and advising the mayors, you know, of the situation, which I'm sure they're aware of, and maybe devising a letter and having all the mayors sign it and send it to the mayor of
Yeah,
Miami-Dade County.
we'll start with my counterpart, our counterpart here in West Miami, Commissioner Cabrera, and well, we'll venture our way down from there. We'll make sure that he's aware of the situation, and I'll take his advice on how we should proceed.
You're gaining a lot by approving this resolution right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's take this resolution. The public hearing is already closed. Do we have a motion on this item?
Motion.
We have a motion?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Next item.
Item 11F, this is a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami, Florida, calling for the election of the mayor and 2 commission members elected at large, with the election to be held on Tuesday, April 9, 2024, as provided by the charter of the city of West Miami, providing for designation of the canvassing board, providing for the closing of registration books, designating hours and places for voting, and establishing the qualifying fee for mayor and commission members, providing for an effective date.
Okay, housekeeping. Do we have a motion on this?
Yes.
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll. All in favor, say aye.
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 Yeah.
Thank you. Next item.
Yes, item G, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami prohibiting overnight parking from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on the north side of Southwest 9th Street between Southwest 62nd Avenue and Southwest 64th Avenue during a trial period of 90 days, providing for enforcement, providing for penalties, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Mr. Manager? Oh, you want to provide a little context?
This is a trial period that we're going to be no parking between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. on Southwest 9th Street, so that we can see if we can relieve some of the pressures that our residents have in that area. And after 90 days, we'll come back and report to the commission and say whether we'll make this permanent, expand it, or come back and say it just didn't work. But
Beautiful.
this is an attempt to resolve an issue that we've had ongoing and brewing on 9th Street for some time now.
Yeah, those 9th Street people have suffered a lot. Go ahead.
Mr. Manager, how are we going to enforce it? What type of enforcement are we?
Our officers, that'll be an illegal parking if they're parking there at night.
So basically ticketing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have a question also.
Go ahead.
So say somebody's no longer allowed to park on the north side, they decide to park on the south side, blocking a residence, parking, whatever it may be. Is there something we can do about that or nothing?
Swales are public right-of-ways. Unless we pass an ordinance or a resolution for it, we can't prohibit that. They can't block, right? They cannot block
Right.
driveways.
No, this is a step in the right direction, absolutely.
And this trial was put together in conjunction with the residents of that street?
Mayor, yes, it was. The residents, some of the residents they sent a representative to talk to me, and this is what we agreed upon that we would try to do as a solution
Beautiful.
for that street.
All right.
In 90 days, we will know something.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Next item.
Item 11H, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami approving the purchase of wireless real-time alarm system with streaming data pump stations for the city, and authorizing the city manager to create a purchase order for AWC Inc. in the amount of $36,386.68, providing for an effective date.
So 2 questions on this. I know of 2 issues that this relates to, right? One is obviously the residents that live around the pump stations, which I've heard quite a bit from. Whenever the pump goes off, there's a loud alarm, and the residents Obviously, very angry about that for a long time. The other thing, and you tell me if I'm correct in assuming this, on Juneteenth, I remember very clearly because I was called out in rain boots, and we had a large amount of flooding, and that wasn't due to our lack of drainage or pumps. That was due to our pumps being made unavailable because of lightning and things like that. Would this have alerted us faster of that pump failure?
This will be a real time to our water department, allowing them to know that a pump has failed for whatever reason. And it will also, to answer both questions at one time, it will also eliminate that very loud alarm that goes off that can very easily be triggered by just by the fact that it's getting way too much water runoff and there's really nothing wrong with the pump. It's working, but if it goes past a certain point, the alarm goes off. So our water team will be able to manage and see what's going on and whether it's something that we need to respond to in a very quick
Okay,
manner or
yeah,
not.
because
And-
that was a very frustrating thing, seeing how quickly the water went down once the pump, became live. But we obviously it took us a while to figure out because we don't have water guys in the street, especially that was an unlucky federal holiday. To be able to know that it was off. So that would solve that issue that happened.
It will solve that issue. We're also cross-training some of our staff so that we have more than just a one-person response team right now.
Beautiful. Anyone else on this item?
Oh, I think this system will be very effective normally because neighbors will be quiet and the advice to the police or the Ralph will be direct and the manager. So it's going to be fast and we will know what to do. I approve. I for that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else from the table? Anyone for a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Next item, item 11I, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida relating to grant approving a Florida Recreation Development Assistance Program FERDAP grant in the amount of $50,000 for Cooper Park exercise equipment, authorizing the city manager to execute the grant agreement between the City of West Miami and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and other grant-related documents as required and providing for an effective date.
Okay, Mr. Manager, Commissioner Chavez, who wants to take this?
So we did speak about this at the Parks and Rec meeting earlier. Again, the board did a fantastic job selecting equipment. We're not gonna get rid of all of the equipment that's there. If you go to Cooper Park, on the west side of the park, you can see outdoor gym equipment. We're gonna get rid of the equipment that's outdated and damaged, and we're gonna bring in new pieces. So the board selected, I think it's 8 items to add to that facility now. So we're gonna add more amenities there, things some for seniors, but mostly for just anyone that's active. There's certain items there for everybody, and this grant is going to allow us to do that. So,
And this is a FERDAP grant,
FERDAP.
full, no match.
no match, $50,000 grant.
Beautiful,
that
50,000
we
free.
rec- 50,000 free that
Beautiful.
we received. And when is it that we're going to be installing this? I think it was April deadline.
The grant allows for a 2-year period, but I think you all know that I move very quickly. We're going to start in the process of looking for the prices and start working it as soon as we can. In fact, I've sent out our maintenance team to go look at the existing equipment tomorrow and see how we can refurbish some of it.
Okay,
Sounds
does
good.
anyone have a problem with getting free money for equipment?
Well, we have to think, we have to tell that girl she's working.
We want more.
That girl is working hard with the grant.
Can I get a motion on this item?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Next item, item J, a resolution of the City of West Miami, Florida, authorizing the filing of fiscal year 2023-2024 Land and Water Conservation Fund Program Grant Application as Attachment A for the West Miami's Cooper Park with updates and inclusions of elements to the West Miami Cooper Park Playground and Restroom Improvements Project in its capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2023-2024 as Attachment B and providing for an effective date.
Okay, who wants to take this? Go ahead.
So again, Jenny, great job once again. She had a presentation for us in the sole purpose meeting, showed us how we were improving our facilities at Cooper Park, adding bathrooms, splash pad, fencing. I touched on this earlier,
That's very important.
but that park is right now we're using it for most of our events. So adding the bathrooms, we're gonna have male and female bathrooms. We're gonna have changing stations for babies. These This park is used by young families with children, so it's gonna be a lot of things there, great improvements, and once again, thank you, Jenny.
Agree?
Perfect. Beautiful. We have a motion?
Motion.
Linus, make a motion.
Second.
Oh, okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 12, consent agenda items.
Item
on this
13.
evening. Item 13, good of the order.
Anyone for good of the order?
I
Okay, Commissioner Chavez, actually, you know, Vice Mayor and then Commissioner Chavez.
I just want to congratulate our city manager. You know, everything seems to be happening a lot faster. Everything is a lot more responsive. We've gone from the Flintstone era to the Star Trek era. So beat me up, Scotty. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Go ahead.
Blame in the lights. Good light now.
I just want to say thank you to Jenny again. We didn't say thank you enough, so.
Those lights have to keep us awake.
And I'd just like to remind everyone, January 25th, right? Correct? January 25th, we're having the State of the City address. We'll have refreshments, we'll have food, we'll have, you know, a good time hearing the future of the city, seeing where we're going to take things. And obviously, we'll all be there, hear from residents as well, and we'll also be recognizing outstanding residents and members of our public boards as well. So very, very excited to have the first State of the City in our city, and I invite everyone to attend. And with that, do you have
Mayor, I'd like to thank the people from 9th Street to come to the meeting. Thank you for coming.
And make sure you come next month.
with that, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Adjourn. Thank you.